Scorpio. Tonight, the sky feels different. The stars are in the same places, but their light has changed paler, sharper, as if they were watching you with quiet insistence, waiting for you to admit what you've been avoiding for far too long. There is someone, a bond, a thread that has bound you to another soul, and little by little, it has been draining your essence in silence, dimming the fire that once defined you, and now the universe, in its cold and sacred patience, is pushing you to that inevitable crossroad every Scorpio must face, the moment of holy ending. Pluto, your ruling planet, is moving slowly through the deepest chamber of your chart, the realm where the soul is forced to face what it fears to name. This is the cycle of shedding, of death before rebirth, where every false comfort and decaying illusion collapses under its own weight. And that person, the one you've loved with both devotion and silence, stands at the epicenter of this collapse. Not because they are cruel, but because they are no longer aligned with your frequency. You have evolved. They have not. You are becoming. They remain. You've sensed it. Haven't you? That strange fatigue that creeps into your bones at sunset. Not the exhaustion of body, but of spirit, the weariness that comes from pretending. Pretending that you're fine, pretending that the love still fits, pretending that you're still seen, still understood, still held as you are. But deep inside, you've been shrinking. Every time you stay silent to keep the peace, every time you smile when you want to cry, every time you dim your intuition to avoid frightening them with your depth, you step further away from yourself. And now, when you look in the mirror, the reflection stares back like a ghost. The eyes are the same, dark and endless, but the light behind them flickers like a candle that's forgotten its purpose. Scorpio, you are a creature of water and shadow. You don't fear the depths. You don't fear death. You don't fear endings. You only fear losing connection to your essence. And that, more than anything, is what this relationship has taken from you. The one you love hasn't destroyed you out of malice. They've simply been too fragile to hold your truth. They loved the parts of you that were gentle, controllable, digestible, but the wildness, the intensity, the sacred chaos that was too much for them. So they learned to love you in moderation. And without realizing it, you started loving yourself the same way in pieces. You have tried so hard to keep it together. You've softened your edges, tamed your storms, silenced your instincts. You've convinced yourself that love means compromise. But in truth, what you've been practicing is self-erasure. And the soul of Scorpio cannot bear slow decay. You are born to burn, not to fade. So now the universe is intervening not to punish you, but to liberate you. As the moon enters your sign, the waters within you begin to stir. The emotions you've buried will rise like tides under lunar command. There will be tears, anger, confusion, longing. You will want to hold on. You will tell yourself that you can fix it, that love can heal all, but deep down, this is not healing, it's clinging. The universe is whispering, let go. Because only through letting go can the Scorpio soul truly live. Watch your body. Scorpio, it already knows the truth. When you're near this person, your heart slows, your breath shortens, your chest tightens. But when you're alone, when the silence returns, you breathe easier, lighter, deeper. That is not coincidence. That is energy language. The soul never lies. It's telling you the lesson is complete. And if you refuse to walk away, the universe will do it for you. It will break what you refuse to release. When the ending comes, it won't arrive with thunder. It will arrive in silence. One morning, you will wake up and realize your heart no longer trembles at their name. One evening, You'll reread old messages and feel nothing. No anger, no sadness, only the stillness of peace that follows a storm long endured. That is how rebirth begins for you, not with noise, but with surrender. Do not fear the loneliness that follows. For you, solitude is not emptiness, it is initiation. In isolation, you hear your own pulse again. You rediscover the rhythm of your soul. Pluto is teaching you that love should never demand your disappearance. You can love deeply, but not at the cost of your essence. You can merge, but not dissolve. You can give, but not bleed yourself dry. When you walk away, I remember this. It is not a retreat, it is a return. A return to your instinct, your sharpness, your power. A return to the unshakable self that knows how to die beautifully and rise stronger each time. You will lose the person, yes, but you will reclaim yourself. Lift your head. Scorpio. The sky is opening. The moon is watching. Pluto is smiling in the dark. Do not cry for what is leaving. What you are losing is not love, it's the chain of an old lifetime that no longer fits. You are not ending. You are beginning again. And when dawn touches your skin, you will understand the goodbye that terrifies you tonight is actually the baptism of your freedom. Scorpio. As the night deepens, the mask begins to slip. You've worn it for so long that even you started to believe it, the calm, the control, the illusion of being untouchable. But Pluto, your ruler, has no patience for pretense. It is now illuminating the cracks, not to humiliate you, but to free you from the prison of pretending. Every word you didn't say, every emotion you buried beneath logic, every time you smiled to hide the ache, all of it is surfacing. You can't hide anymore. Not from them. Not from yourself. Mars, the ancient guardian of your sign, is stirring your blood again. It doesn't want you peaceful, it wants you awake. That restlessness you feel is not anxiety, it's rebirth knocking. Your instincts are sharpening. Your perception is returning. Your body remembers what your mind tried to forget. You are beginning to see with new eyes, not the world outside, but the world within. That place where you keep the versions of yourself that were too much for others to handle. The loud one, the passionate one, the one who feels too deeply, the one who refuses to shrink. The person you once loved taught you to wear a mask that made you easier to love. Softer, quieter, safer. But as Pluto presses against your ascendant, that mask is melting. The heat you feel isn't anger, it's truth, setting fire to the lies you lived for too long. And you know now that real peace doesn't come from pleasing anyone. It comes from living in full honesty, even when it costs you company. This phase, astrologically, is raw and revealing. The moon's path through your 12th house exposes hidden motives, shadow intentions, the quiet manipulation disguised as care. You begin to notice how often you apologize for things that weren't your fault. How often you took blame just to keep harmony. Scorpio. That was never harmony, it was submission. And you were not born to kneel. As Mercury crosses your sign, thoughts grow sharper. And words you've been too afraid to speak begin to form inside you like spells. Soon, you will speak them not to destroy, but to declare, to tell the universe, I remember who I am. And when you do, the people who truly see you will stay. Those who only loved your mask will fall away like dead leaves in autumn. Do not mourn that loss. It is the sound of authenticity returning. It is your soul exhaling after years of holding its breath. The mask is gone. Scorpio, and beneath it, what remains is something rare and sacred. You, Scorpio. Betrayal has always been the sacred language of your evolution. It doesn't come to punish you, it comes to awaken you. When others experience heartbreak, they move on. But when you experience it, You are reborn. And now, that familiar sting returns. Not as cruelty, but as initiation, somewhere between truth and illusion. Someone you trusted has crossed a line you can no longer ignore. You felt it long before you saw it, in the way their words stopped matching their energy, in the way silence grew heavier between you, in the way your intuition screamed while your mind kept whispering. Don't make a scene, but Pluto's season never let deception live long. The veil is lifting, and with it, every illusion you ever agreed to believe. It's not the act itself that hurts, is it? Scorpio, it's the recognition that you knew all along. That the same intuition that protects you, that same sacred gift that makes you impossible to fool, was there and you ignored it out of love. You saw the red flags, you read the energy, and still you stayed. Convincing yourself that love could overwrite what instinct already knew, that was the betrayal that cut deepest, not theirs, but your own silence. Yet even that has purpose. For now, you will never again question your inner voice. You will never again give someone the power to talk you out of your truth. The cosmos is aligning sharply above you, Mars, igniting your courage. Uranus shaking the foundations of your attachments. Saturn drawing an unbreakable line. These planetary forces aren't asking for revenge. They're asking for closure. You don't need to destroy anyone. The universe will handle that in its own timing. Your only task is to walk away without looking back. Because the real revolution happens not when you strike, but when you refuse to be dragged down into the same darkness that hurt you. You will see them try to return, perhaps not with words, but with energy. They will sense your withdrawal and panic. Because they once fed on your depth, people like this don't crave love. They crave reflection. And no mirror has ever shown them their power the way you did. But this time, you won't answer. You won't need to prove anything. Your silence will echo louder than any explanation. That's how Scorpio ends a cycle, not with noise, but with sovereignty. And here's the hidden gift. Betrayal becomes your compass. It points you back to your own worth. What broke your trust, rebuilt your boundaries? What wounded your heart, reawakened your fire? Every time someone shows you their shadow, it reminds you how bright your light truly is. You no longer need validation from the ones who failed to see you. You are your own confirmation now. In the days ahead, you will feel the energy shifting inside you, a strange calm that follows destruction. That is the soul reorganizing itself. You will stop replaying what went wrong and start realizing what went right. You survived it without losing your soul. You faced what others would have denied. You looked betrayal in the eye and found freedom staring back. Scorpio, breathe. You are no longer the one begging for truth. You are the truth. The one who once broke you has no power anymore. The pain that once burned now becomes armor, polished and sacred. This is how the phoenix begins to form in the ashes of trust that died. Something radiant starts to glow. When the night is quiet and the memories try to pull you under, whisper this: I do not chase closure. I am the closure. I do not seek revenge. My peace is my proof. And as the stars watch from above, even Pluto nods in respect, because this is your power, Scorpio, to turn every betrayal into the fire that sets you free. Scorpio, the air is heavy again, not with fear, but with charge. The universe is exhaling through you, and every part of your life is trembling under its breath. You can feel it in your chest, in your pulse, in the stillness before lightning strikes. This is not a warning. It is a coronation. The storm is arriving, and this time, it comes for you, not against you. Pluto, your ancient ruler, now stands face to face with the sun. And that alignment is pure alchemy. It burns away everything that can't stand the heat of your truth. The people, the habits, the thoughts that once kept you safe are all starting to collapse. You might think you're losing control, But in truth, control is what you're finally surrendering. This storm is not chaos, it's reordering. It's the divine rearranging your reality into something that finally fits the soul you've become. Everything you've released until now, the person, the mask, the betrayal was preparation for this. You had to lose your attachments to become weightless enough to fly through the fire. The flames don't come to destroy you, they come to refine you. And the first thing they burn is fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of loneliness. Fear of being too much. The storm does not tolerate those lies anymore. It demands you rise without apology. Mars, your second ruler, fuels this transformation. It gives you the courage to move decisively, to cut the cords you've been hesitant to cut, to walk through doors that shake on their hinges. It urges you to stop waiting for the perfect moment and act now. While the universe is clearing the path for you, the sky doesn't move like this often. Scorpio, when Mars and Pluto pulse together, they rewrite destiny, and yours is being rewritten right now. You may notice endings everywhere, jobs that no longer inspire you, friendships that suddenly dissolve, ideas that lose meaning overnight. Don't mourn them. They were never meant to follow you into this new cycle. The storm carries away what your courage could not. Let it go. Because beneath the thunder is a new rhythm forming. A heartbeat aligned with your purpose. Venus enters your chart softly, walking behind the storm like dawn after the night. It doesn't erase the destruction, it blesses it. It brings beauty into what you once called loss. You begin to understand that even the heartbreak had symmetry, even the endings had grace. You start to see your own reflection not as a survivor, but as a creator, the one who can make art out of ashes. Scorpio, the storm is sacred. It will strip you bare, but it will also anoint you. You will emerge from it with eyes clear as crystal, skin still warm from the fire, and a silence inside you that hums with power. The ones who doubted your strength will not recognize you. The ones who tried to cage your depth will not survive your expansion, because this time, you are not the same. You have learned that everything that falls away is a blessing in disguise, and everything that stays has earned its place. So when the thunder rolls, don't hide. Stand in it. Open your arms. Feel the rain on your skin and whisper to yourself, I am not afraid of the fire. I am made of it. Because, Scorpio, this storm was never meant to destroy you. It was sent to crown you. The storm has passed. Scorpio, the sky no longer roars, but hums. The air is still charged with memory, heavy with smoke. And yet you can finally breathe again. The silence feels different now. It's not the silence of waiting, but the silence of peace. Every scar on your soul glows faintly, like the last embers of a sacred fire that refused to die. You are still standing, not because you avoided the flames, but because you learned how to live inside them. And in this quiet hour, under a sky that feels washed clean, you can sense it, the soft, impossible truth that you have become someone new. Pluto, your dark star, has completed its orbit through your underworld. What it took, it returns as wisdom. Every heartbreak, every silence, every night that left you hollow has been melted down into strength. The energy is different now. It no longer drags you backward. It propels you forward. Like a current you no longer fight but flow with. You are lighter, but not empty. You carry within you the ashes of who you were, the fragments of all your previous lives. And they are no longer burdens, they are blessings. They are the proof that death is never the end for you. It is simply your native language. The moon, resting quietly in your sign, wraps you in her silver light. You've spent so long chasing control, chasing understanding, chasing closure. But now, for the first time, you don't need any of it. The questions still exist, but they no longer torment you. You've made peace with not knowing. You've made peace with letting go. The universe is whispering in that stillness, you survived the lesson, you can rest now. And you do. Your body softens, your breath slows, the past releases its grip. Mars, once burning through your veins, now moves gently through your house of creation. The war is over. The energy that once defended now creates. You begin to build again not the same life, but something wilder. Freer, truer. You start small, like a heartbeat, like a flame that flickers under the first touch of dawn. You rediscover joy and simplicity in music, in the sound of rain, in your own solitude. You no longer crave validation. You no longer chase recognition. You simply exist, radiant and uncontained, knowing that those who are meant for your light will find it naturally. Venus yawns softly, and love feels different now. It no longer arrives as chaos. It no longer asks for sacrifice. It flows quietly, without needing to prove itself. The next person who looks into your eyes will not meet the same soul they once would have. They will meet the survivor of the storm, the child of fire and silence. They will meet someone who loves deeply but does not dissolve, who merges but does not vanish. You have learned the hardest lesson of your sign to love without losing yourself. The stars begin to shift, and a new alignment forms, Pluto harmonizing with Neptune, Jupiter expanding through the path of your purpose. This is what astrologers call the Phoenix return. It happens once in a lifetime, and only for those who have faced the underworld and returned with their light intact. You are now entering the cycle of creation after destruction, the sacred rebuilding that only a Scorpio can do. Everything that fell apart was preparing you for this expansion. Every ending was a seed waiting for this exact season. You might feel a strange nostalgia now, a love for all your former selves, even the broken ones. You don't despise them anymore. You thank them. The one who tolerated too much, the one who cried quietly in the dark, the one who believed love meant endurance. You owe them gratitude, because without their pain, you would never have risen. They are your ashes, and you are their flight. Outside, the world goes on, unaware that something extraordinary just occurred inside you. A soul that once burned for others has finally started burning for itself. You are not searching anymore. You are remembering. You are not waiting anymore. You are becoming. Scorpio, close your eyes. Let the weight of everything you've survived settle into stillness. The universe is quiet now because it is listening to your breath, to your pulse, to your rebirth. The war between who you were and who you are meant to be is over. You are whole again. Whisper this before sleep. Not as a spell, but as truth. I release what burned me. I bless what built me. I rise. Because the ashes were always wings. And somewhere far above, Pluto smiles. The stars bow their heads. The cosmos rearranges itself ever so slightly, to make room for the new frequency you've become. Because you, Scorpio, are not the same. You are the fire that learned how to heal. You are the darkness that discovered its own light. You are the Phoenix eternal, unbreakable, reborn in your own flame.